in motion. And it's worse you thought I did not know. Did you think I would let it go? Oh no. And in time, yes, I'll think it's absurd, but until then you'll leave your words. But lay on, play on. Now it's time to defend your lies, lies you've been feeding me all this time. And will you reoffend? Oh darling, you say that you are innocent, but your ways, they seem irrelevant, but still play on. Now it's time to defend your lies, lies you've been feeding me all this time. And will you reoffend? Oh darling, have reached your lover's end? No way will we make pretend like we something to fight for. Oh. We had nothing to fight for. 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 to be alone. And somehow, someday, we'll find what we're looking for. Until then, we will all be yours. We will all be yours. We'll all be yours. Don't tell me who I have become.
Good evening, race fans, and we're back for round 5 of the GT Alpha's International GT Challenge, and we move to the iconic racetrack Spa in the Honda NSX GT500 2008. Very quick car, very nimble, and a perfect racetrack for this car. It will not rain at Spa today, unlike the last round of the last series of Alphas. So it's going to be nice and sunny here at Spa. 2 races as normal, 12 laps of our sprint race, followed by a 36 lap feature. And expecting to see the usual suspects there or thereabouts. I'm a little bit concerned that we're missing game sounds. I will try and sort that problem out right now. There we go. Game sounds sorted. How we doing? Right, shall we have a little looky-see at the grid lineup? There's already a couple of people missing, I've noticed. Nav and it looks like Midas hasn't turned up. So we're down to the 13 drivers. If we look at the current leaderboard, this is how it looks. Sharky tops the tree with 672 points. He's been the man to beat. He's had all the fastest laps, looking very strong at the moment. Bolival, though, not letting him get away, and is closing that gap. 658 points for Bolival from ART. Of course, he's the reigning GT3 champion. Kaizan, also from LRC, the Leviathan Racing Crew, dominating that top 3 at the moment with 562 points, so almost 100 points back. With Midas there in 4th. However, with Midas not showing up today, he will drop down that order. TJ there in that top 5 with Wiggy just behind him. Stormfly, who's currently in lobby 2, having missed last week. So a lot of work for him to do to get back into that top 3. And Colum not racing today either. Newton is. Pavlos, as we know, has left the series due to driving standards. The less said, the better. So Jay could break into that top 10 today. And Demos, of course, is also out of the series. So looking really close there at the top. There's a few. Certainly the battle for the lead in this championship between Sharky and Bolival, that's still very much on the cards. But it's all to fight for. We're only on round 5. We've got several rounds left to go. So plenty of racing still on the cards here in this International GT Challenge. So it is sparse, 4.3 miles, 20 corners, some iconic corners as well. You've got La Source at turn 1, which is always a potential source of of accident. You've got to find your break point. You've got to try not to go wide. Certainly got to be careful on your re-entry. You've got of course, the very iconic Ready on an Eau Rouge, which takes you up the Kemmel Straight. But we'll do it on board when we do qualifying, which will start in about 3 minutes time. This Honda NSX, very, very strong car, and slipstream is going to be incredibly important here, particularly around Blanchimont and going back up that Kemmel Straight. Wind won't be a factor certainly in this in the sprint race, but will come into play during the feature. So we'll have to see which way the wind blows, because it will make a massive difference to lap times around here. And considering the pace of these guys and the tyre wear and fuel depletion, it's going to be a difficult one to manage, because the soft tyres aren't too bad in terms of wear, but the fuel, this car really will burn through the fuel. It's a GR3 car, GR2 car, of course, so it will burn through the fuel relatively quickly, and you've got to be quite careful at managing that to ensure you're not stopping too many times. We are pretty much a minute now from qualification. You've got to look at the usual suspects for a potential podium. Certainly front row start. Sharky body valve, obviously we've got Slipstream in there. He's always going to be a potential for a front row, but you can't count out the Truth. You certainly can't count out Newton or even Tyler in that M&M liveried LRC car. Wiggy's very good around here as well. No Stormfly does mean that Lobby 2 are going to have some difficulty keeping up. There's a couple of really quick drivers in Lobby 2. Zero, who couldn't get, for whatever reason, couldn't get his connection linked up last week, and couldn't make Lobby 1, so drop back down to Lobby 2. Stormfly down there as well. So it's going to be an interesting battle, actually, to get back into this lobby. And this, of course, is where the big points are. Hello, Captain Mills. Thank you very much for your kind words. Midfield battle. I think we're going to see some good battles. You got Old Man J. You've got Fubar, Wooly. I think between them, they should have a pretty good battle. It's going to be about keeping your car on the racetrack, not over pushing, not trying to stretch the car too hard. Particularly, I mean, the sprint race, yeah, everyone's going to absolutely give it. How you doing, Paul? Good evening, and Rob as well. I'm not ignoring you. How are you all? Thanks for joining. Yeah, it's going to be about consistency in the feature race. 36 laps around here. You don't want to be pushing too hard, burning through your fuel too quickly, or trying to chase an elusive fastest lap. You want to kind of find your rhythm, find your consistency, and just keep going, because it's a big punishment. You come off the racetrack here, especially with heavy damage in that feature race, and you could find yourself quite easily going a lap down very, very quickly. So you've got to stay on top of your rhythm, on top of your consistency here. So we are really much, if we say 1 minute, it's already 1 minute past the time. We should be starting now. There we go. Qualifying is about to begin. So we will jump straight across into the race, or certainly the qualifying. And we'll get an on-board going as well. So we'll show you what a lap around here looks like. Get all the info up. I will take them off. I know who people are by now. There we have it. Right. Who's going to be first to blink? I'm going to turn the monitor down in my ear a little bit because it's quite loud. There we go. Right. Everyone itching to get out. It's a very short qualifying time, so you haven't got long in order to set your lap. Right. Old Man Jay first out on the racetrack, so he gets the honour of the onboard, which is going to be from this passenger seat here. So you're heading up the hill. Oh, actually, what I want to do, let's take this off for the time before the onboard. Head up the hill into Lecombe, get it down into second gear, get it turned around right, then to the left, and you're getting on that power for a little lift to flick this round to the right hand side, avoiding that the bollards on the inside if you can. You head down the hill. This is a big braking zone here. You're going to get it right turned down nice and tight to the apex on the power, let it drift out before you head into Speaker's Corner. So again, a little lift just to get the rotation in the car, and then you head down towards Pouillon, get it back on the racetrack. Do not touch the grass there, it can send you absolutely flying into Pouillon. Get the car geared down. You just need to feather that throttle until you can get it flat out again, all the way down the hill here. Tricky right, left, as you get down through the gears again, nice and tight on the apex. You start to power out the left-hander. Again, you've got a lot of range, you can use it on the right-hand side. Last corner before, you've got the long run down to the bus stop. Get this right, get your exit right, and it is flat, flat, flat all the way down through this penalty line. Good evening, Hockers. How the bloody hell are you? Through that dreaded penalty line and into Blanchimont. Absolutely flat out, particularly on these soft compound tyres. Flick to the left here, head down towards that bus stop chicane. Get your car lined up, look for that 150 board, slamming on those anchors down into first gear 4 rotation, up into second as you power out and come down and cross the line, as he's about to do right here. There we go, cross the line. So on his first hard lap, we can now turn on all the beautiful information. Let's have a look at the liveries we've got rocking today. This is a special one-off livery done by TJ for this event. It's pretty cool. I like the shiny red bit. It's very cool. And the homage to all the nationalities involved on the top of the car. Looking awesome as usual. Amigos Racing Team, instantly recognisable, of course, is the Amigos stuff. Always with that blue and yellow livery. Of course, why has he got German on the back of his car? That is clearly, that should be a Welsh flag, surely, for Wiggy there, but maybe not. G-Mac slowing up at the top there. Don't know who that was whipping past him. Newton, of course, is black flag as well. This is another. It's all black flag and ART, and apart from, you've got the Sector 7 car there. I like that. It's quite a retro look, that. I'm quite impressed with that. It's a very nice looking livery there for the truth, and that'll be on Slipstreams as well. The M&M tribute livery there for LRC. Big fans, of course, of chocolate. It's because they're both really fat. That's not true, of course. Mobile Legend, of course, rocking that LRC livery as well. Slipstream in the Sector 7, and of course Sharky. Always doing his own thing, despite the fact he is with Sector 7. But again, it's another throwback livery to those big V8s that they chuck around the Aussie hills. Right, so opening lap of this qualifying session. There is just 5 minutes of qualifying. I am very well aware the race time was not up in the top left hand corner. For some reason it keeps turning itself off. I couldn't be bothered to fix it today. It's not all fairness. Right, but old man Jay coming round the final corner. He's got has body valve been held up a little bit behind Jay there. So Jay puts himself on pole brief. He's on the front row actually, with body valve taking pole by 2.4 seconds, and he can't overtake during qualifying unless Jay lets him through. So could that hamper him for a front row spot? Willie briefly on that front row, and Tyler comes through and closes that gap to 2:07.5 for him. Mobile Ledge pulling out a stonking lap with a 2:06.6. Body valve being held up behind Jay, would not want that. He's gone past him, shouldn't really be overtaken during qualifying, but considering that's not really hampering him in any way, not really that big a problem. He's not done it in any sort of dangerous way. Right, so Sharky now on pole, a 2:06.2 from him. We did expect to see him there or thereabouts. Body valve's got one final lap to get this done. Sharky's going to be looking to improve. About half a second up from Mobile Edge, his teammate. So at the minute it's a front row lockout for Leviathan Racing crew. Body valve in third currently, second in the championship, third in qualifying at the moment, just beyond 700th of a second behind Mobile Edge, the American driver, and he's certainly looking to improve on that. Now he's not held up behind old man Jay as he was for his first hot lap. Slipstream on row 2, fresh off the back of 6 laps around Nordschleifer in that Manufacturers Cup today. Good performance, finishing in that top 6. Gifted a little bit by a couple of cars ahead fucking up, but you take them where you can. Absolutely you do. Tyler down on row 3. He's got Fubar for company, half a second separating those two, with Woolley and Newton on row 4. Row 5 is G-Mac and old man Jay. TJ just a 10th behind with Wiggy for company. and Detrusum at the moment yet to set a valid time. Pressure's on to get a good time at this lap. He obviously made a mistake last time. He's got a penalty as well, so that's going to cost him. It's going to be very difficult. Right, so Sharky's still on pole. Has Body Valve finished now, or has he got another lap? No, he's done. So Body Valve cannot get himself onto that front row. Who's still running out there? Slipstream. He's still running. Is he quick enough for the front row? Round the final corner, the final couple of corners into that bus stop chicane. Round he comes, 2:06.8. His fastest thus far. It's a 2:06.2, and it's a front row for Slipstream of Sector 7. Sharky still on pole though. He improves by 0.2 of a second to maintain pole. Slipstream joins him on that front row. Mobile Ledge in third. It's a good all-round qualifying session from those guys. Let's have a quick looky-see at how that pans out. So Sharky from Slipstream, Mobile Ledge and Body Val are on row 2. Wiggy and Tyler row 3. Row 4. That was absolutely stonking that from Slippy there. Paul, you're absolutely right. Wiggy and Tyler, we've got Newton and Wooly. And then Fubar with GMAC, TJ with the Truth, who did finally manage to set a lap, but it's not representative of his usual pace. And Old Man Jay not too far behind him. So it's going to be an interesting battle at the back there in this sprint race. It is 12 laps, so it's quite a lengthy sprint race in the scheme of things. But we are getting straight into the action here. Now the sprint race will set your grid for your 36 lap feature, and the way it works is the top 6 are reversed. Everybody else starts from where they finish essentially, so 7th all the way down to 13th will start wherever they are. Top 6 will be reversed, giving you a little battle there. Ready's up and we are ready to go. It is a rolling start which should hopefully alleviate a little bit of the shenanigans into turn 1. We'll be looking out for a red flag. Hopefully we don't have to call one, but we all know what it can be like. Right, let's get all the information on. Let's turn that off, and we want to sit back with, I think if we go with Tyler there in 6th, it gives us a good kind of view. Let's go with Newton there in 7th. It gives us a good view into the source, and we can quickly have a look back and see what's going on behind. So all about not trying to win this on turn 1. Make sure you get in and out safely. They're spread out enough, although he did seem to get bogged down a little bit. Really poor place for him to start. So ahead we can sit into the source. Everyone through clean. No touching, no touching. That's the top 7 all through clean. Looking behind, I can't see anything going on back there. Let's have a little flick back, just make sure. Wooly had a little problem. What happened to Wooly? Where's Wooly gone? He's there. Trying to see what happened to him at race start. It's jumping off of him, so it's... Yeah, I don't quite know what's happening there. It's not showing me Wooly on the replay. Oh, did he disconnect? Oh, it looks like he's had a disconnection problem, because I did try and get the replay and find out what happened, but he disappeared. So I couldn't see what happened to Wooly. Not a great start from him then. We've already lost him. He can rejoin, of course, for the feature race, but we'll start excuse me, from the back of the grid. So Sharky still leads the way. He's already 1.8 seconds clear of Slipstream, who started on that front row with him. But he's got a battle from Body Val. They are racing side by side for that second place, and all this does is play into Sharky's hands and allows him just to disappear off up the road. Body Val moving up into second place. Slipstream's not going to give this up easy though. He's going to continue on with this battle, and you can already see Sharky there already disappearing off into the distance. These two are not going to want to see that. They're going to have to work together in these early laps, I think, just to stop Sharky being able to pull away quite so significantly. We want to make sure they close that gap if they can. His wheel did nothing at the start, he said. So it was a technical failure for Wooly, which is so disappointing. We seem to see it so often. I'm assuming he's got a Fanatec, because that's the only wheel we seem to see these problems with. But absolutely devastating for him. You know, these guys practice for this, and you get all hyped up and you're ready for it and you're ready to go and you do your qualifying, and then bang, technical failure, and well, I suppose it's as much a part of racing as engine failures and technical issues are with real racing. One of those things. So Slippy still chasing in behind Bonnie Val. Top three, you can see it. Just open up a bit of a gap now from the rest of the pack. There is Tyler, best of the rest. He's got Wiggy for company. Wiggy's got Newton for company. There's Mobile Ledges there. This is the battle currently for fourth place, and the slipstream going to be strong, and they're going to use it to pull themselves up this hill, try and get closer to that car in front. No move on the cards for Mobile Ledge here, but you can see how much closer they are as they get into Lecum at the top of that Kemmel Straight. Fubar Philantis, he's 1.9 seconds back. He's got GMAC all over the back of him at just half a second. GMAC trying to find some pace in that NSX and find a way around Fubar, who leaves a bit of a gap going round this hairpin, but GMAC luckily not close enough to capitalise on it. Teammates, of course, so you're not going to make that crazy risky move. I mean, you wouldn't make that crazy risky move on lap 2 anyway, but you certainly wouldn't expect teammates to be doing it. 1.3 back to the Truth, who is a bit on his own already. He's going to want to close on that battle between Fubar and GMAC and get involved there, give himself an opportunity. 3.4 ahead of Old Man Jay, currently running in 11th, and TJ having an absolute torrid time, not working for him at all. He's 10 seconds back, so clearly he's had a little foray with a wall somewhere, and it's not worked out too well for him. So Sharky leads away 2.3 seconds, and if we go here and we go here, we get this. That's not what I want. It's that one. It's that view there we want to see over the back. This is the Jaeger Special, as they call it. I'm not quite sure why it's named after him, but it's the shot he likes to do. And you can see those cars back there trying to find a way to close this gap. 2.2 seconds it currently sits at. Bonnie Val, you can see that him and Slippy now are duking out as they were at Nordschleife not just about an hour ago, battling that out in the Manufacturers' Cup, although Bonnie Val was much further up the road than Slippy that time. But you can see now the gap is half a second, but look at how much effect the slipstream has in these GT500 cars. You can see how quickly Slippy's closing on him as they head towards the top of the Kemmel Straight, and gets almost within 0.3 before they have to hit that braking zone. What about this battle for fourth? They're clearly pulled away. 3.4 seconds now to Tyler there, running in fourth place. He's got Wiggy tucked in nicely behind him. It's not going to be easy pickings around here. These cars are very, very quick, and you know, Tyler's no slouch. He's up there in the upper echelons of the championship at the moment, in third place. So he's not going to be the easiest target to dispatch, but Wiggy, we know, very, very strong around Spa, and was the winner here in the wet in the GT3 World Championship back in December. So he's already got form of winning here at Spa in amongst these, certainly most of these drivers. Some of the drivers weren't obviously involved in that, but some of them were, and he beat Bonnie Val that day, who went on to become champion. Don't count him out at this stage, particularly in the feature race. Very, say that. That was very nearly commentators because the back end just stepping out for the Welsh Wizard. Why is there a German flag on the back of it? Can someone explain that to me? I don't get why there's a German flag. Oh, is that the Belgian flag? It might be the Belgian flag actually, yeah. Bearing in mind we are in Belgium, so yeah. It's just the wrong way round, isn't it? I kind of get it now, but it should have gone the other way around, really, shouldn't it? It should be the correct way around. Right, but there we go. So Newton's involved in that as well. That's a three-way battle. As Mobile Ledge dropped off that a little bit. Is he dropping into... We'll see if he's dropping into the clutches of GMAC in a minute. But that was a great run into the source for Newton. Heading into Eau Rouge and Radion. Flick it to the left. Flick it to the right. Little lift if you're not brave enough. And start heading up the hill. He's really, really close. He's in the perfect position now to pick up that slipstream from Wiggy. Wiggy doesn't want to be vulnerable to him. To get towards the braking zone. Is Newton close enough? Not quite this time. But if he can maintain that 0.2 gap to Wiggy, we could very well see a move next time around. Let's go back down the order. See Mobile Ledge there, getting caught adrift now by those guys just ahead, but GMAC 3.1 behind. He's ahead of The Truth. He's handling The Truth at the moment. 2 seconds is that gap. Old Man Jay dropping off that the back of The Truth by 5.3 seconds. He's ahead of TJ, but Fubar has clearly had an outing with a wall or something. 2:10.1 on that last lap. So yeah, he's clearly come off the racetrack somewhere, because he is now 4.4 seconds behind TJ, and we'll be looking to try and close that gap back up, which is why GMAC is up a position. TJ though, not finding, he's currently running 5th in the championship, but not finding the pace he was really hoping for so far in this sprint race. Yellow flag up ahead. That is for who? Old Man Jay looks good. Mobile Ledge is okay. Who was crashed? Oh, Newton. Was there something wrong with Newton? Doesn't look like it. He's still very much involved there. Don't know who the yellow flag was for. Maybe someone just touched the grass a little bit. It could be Old Man Jay, because Mobile Ledge now. Was it? Oh, it might be Mobile Ledge that had the problem, because he's now back in 10th, isn't he? So Mobile Ledge off the racetrack. He's had a little problem somewhere, and that has allowed Old Man Jay to get through and up into 9th. Front 3 though, how's that looking? Gap still at 2.3 seconds. So I need a drink. Sore throat. Bonnie Val just opened up a little bit of breathing room from Slipstream there in 3rd. He was at one stage really closing down on the back of Bonnie Val, but it looks like they're settling in to a bit of rhythm here in this sprint race. Maybe relying on a mistake from the cars up ahead. Tyler still very much holding on in 4th, and Newton and Wiggy now, their own little battle going on. The 2 black flag drivers battling behind. What they really need to do is try and help each other now up that road, pushing on to the back of the LRC driver from Australia, and see if they can't rein him in a little bit, work together as a team to do that. Look, it's an individual race, it always will be, but there is a team element to this, and you want to make sure that you're putting your teammates and yourself in the best possible position to win. And that's very, very wide for Wiggy. Luckily it's all concrete out there, but he might pick up a track limits penalty for that. And he does. That's half a second for being off the racing line. Significantly, well, I say off the racing line, off the racing track. But that drops him 2 seconds back now, out of his teammate Slipstream, and back towards GMAC running in 7th. Slippy still holding on to the back of Bonnie Val, but not with any significant gusto at the moment. He doesn't seem to be able to close that gap enough to be able to make a move with the Slipstream. These cars very twitchy at the back end, but very quick in a straight line. And we'll let's go on board with him as we head up the hill here. So we see as he comes out of this loss, he needs a good exit out of here. You want to be within a couple of tenths really coming out of there, just to try to close up here where you can before you head into Radion and Eau Rouge, and through they go again. You flick this to the left hand side, flick it to the right, and he is absolutely flat through there, no lift at all, and that's going to be a good little run. You can see already picking up the benefit of that Slipstream as they head towards the top of the hill. I think the thing is, because these cars are so quick, 180 mile an hour, they hit the braking zone. But that was a purple first sector there for Slipstream. Fastest lap currently though with this man here, Sharky, and that is a very quick 2:06.0. That's qualifying pace, my friend. Qualifying pace all day long. This is how it looks at the moment, with Sharky leading the way. Behind that is that speck of yellow. That's Body Val, 2.7 seconds back. But Sharky at the moment finding every line and just nice and smooth and not struggling at all to find pace around here at the moment. And because equal conditions mode is on, it's not really going to change in terms of weather. So if it stays as it is, as it stands, and we're halfway through this 12-lap sprint race. As it stands, Wiggy will be on pole with Newton joining him on that front row. Tyler Lansdell and Slipstream on row 2. Bonnie Val and Sharky on row 3 because of that reversed top 6. GMAC being the best of the rest will start in 7th. This is currently where he runs. He's got the Truth for company though. Look at that. The Truth nice and close now to the back of him, looking to make some moves if he can. GMAC will desperately want to try and close on Wiggy. That 2.8 seconds, maybe get involved in that. Wiggy, of course, now 4.4 off the back of Newton after that penalty and that little foray off the racetrack through Pouillon. So, the Truth got a good run on the back of GMAC into the bus stop chicane. They go, get it slowed right down to just 40 miles per hour before they get onto the main pit straight. Straight through the gears up to about 150 mile an hour when they hit the braking zone here into the source. 140, almost ploughing into the black of the car, the back of that car, but gets it slowed down, gets it turned. This is where you get the run up towards the Kemmel Straight. They head. Good exit through here, and he could very much put some pressure on the back of GMAC, and you can see he got a much better exit out of Radion than GMAC did. He's already got the run on him. GMAC trying to weave a little bit, nothing he can do. The Slipstream just drags the Truth past. Into the braking zone they go. Can GMAC have an answer? He has nothing, has to tuck in behind, and his next opportunity is going to be when they travel down Blanchimont towards the bus stop chicane. This is an opportunity now to start wheeling in towards that top 6 if they can. 2.8 seconds the current gap to Wiggy. Looking over the Truth, the Canadian driver's shoulder. That's GMAC. He made a great move, that Sector 7 driver, to get past GMAC, and now starting just to open up a little bit and make himself a bit of room, a bit of space, and not have to worry so much about defending. GMAC just no answer. He could not handle the Truth, essentially. We'll have a look at Bonnie Val because he's still on the chase down of Sharky, although we say on the chase down, the gap is getting bigger. Sharky just pulling it away. How you doing, Dillian? Yeah, the Truth's doing a really good job there in 7th. He didn't qualify too well. He qualified near the back, so he's really fighting his way through the pack to get himself up to 7th. There was only a couple of qualifying laps, of course, so they didn't have an opportunity to chuck loads and loads of laps in. The banker lap you want to get on your second lap wasn't so great for him. He had a penalty, so that didn't register any time. So, yeah, he fought really well to get that car up to 7th. Next target, though, and he's only got 4 laps to catch him, is Wiggy. His last lap was a 2:06.9, but, of course, he did have slipstream help from GMAC during that overtake. Looking at Wiggy in the 2:07s, 2:08s, fastest lap of 2:07.4. With Sharky, talking of fastest lap, Sharky, the race leader, has lap 6, put in a 2:05.9. As that's a qualifying time all day long in this sprint race. Absolutely phenomenal lap, and that's allowed him to open up that gap to 5.2 seconds. Slipstream now ahead of Bonnie Val. Spent so long behind him trying to find a way through. Bonnie Val, though, trying to have a go back. Round Pouillon they go. Slipstream's going to be able to hold him off around here. There's nowhere to overtake on this part of the racetrack. They've got the right, left, right combo to come before they head onto that back straight in and through Blanchimont, which might give Bonnie the opportunity just to start eking into that 0.6 of a second. And round they come on the power. Use all that road. Stay away from the grass, but use all of that road as they get that power down now. And it looks like Slipstream had a really good exit, has been able to just start edging away a little bit from Bonnie Val before he could tuck in behind into the Slipstream. Now I want you to be aware that Bonnie Val is an incredibly quick driver, and he uses a pad to do it. Although saying that, I think Sharky does as well, to be honest. So these quick drivers now are just coming through and doing so on a pad. It's phenomenal, really, isn't it? So here comes Bonnie. He's got that gap down to 0.3 of a second into the source, into that braking zone. He doesn't want to get too close to the back of Wiggy at this stage. This is where he wants to be. He wants to be in that sort of, within that half a second window. Make the run here through Radion, through Eau Rouge, out onto the Kemmel Straight, and if they get left and right, here they go. He's got a really, really good exit with that slipstream. Wiggy will want to wiggle a little bit and just try and unsettle the car behind, but Wiggy holding on to that inside line. He's going to make Bonival go round the outside, and under braking, Wiggy holds on, well defended, but the old switcheroo from Bonival, and he makes the move on I say Wiggy, I meant slipstream. I'm getting all tired. Makes the move on slipstream, and he's back up into second. So because I was looking at Wiggy and GMAC, got a battle going on down there. GMAC's actually up into 7th now, past Wiggy. The Truth also passed him, but great little battle there as Bonival retakes second. Down in 6th, that is Detrucium, who's got past Wiggy and GMAC to get himself up into 6th position now. Wiggy had a really bad lap. You said there were 2:15.4 clearly off the racetrack somewhere, and that's cost him those couple of places. Yeah, he's on fire. Of course, now that's the perfect position for the Truth, because the top 6 are reversed for the feature race. So that puts the Detrucium on pole for the feature. Tyler Lanzell just ahead of him will join him on that front row. Now, here's the question. This is where you have to consider how you feel your pace is going to be in the feature. Look, we know that Sharky and Bonival and Slipstream, Newton, those guys are going to be battling for the top spot, the top 3. There's no question in terms of pace that's not going to be the case. There is going to be, of course, a bit of strategy in playing how they use their fuel and tyres, but you would expect that. Now, do you push and try and gamble for more points, but sacrifice a grid position for the feature race, or do you hold fire, stick where you are? Now, what about Newton? He's sitting in 4th, so it's not going to be a massive change for him with that reversal, because it's going to do, it's going to put him 3rd instead of 4th. It's not a massive reversal in terms of his position. And the same thing as well for Slipstream in 3rd. Being in the middle there doesn't really have a massive impact on you reversal-wise. But the points matter, and if it comes to the end of the season and the difference between finishing 2nd or 3rd in a race is and it's all gone horribly wrong for Slipstream. You can see there, he just caught the grass. And we'll have another look here. He was putting some pressure on Bonival, and we were talking about whether he was going to try and push on at him. See here, look, he comes through here, just get a little bit loose, gets a little bit too much on that gravel. The back end wants to step out, tries to correct it, all goes wrong, and he can now find himself down. He's down in 5th. So he's down there just ahead of his teammate, 3.4 seconds ahead of his teammate. Yes, it's going to benefit him in the feature race, but points-wise, that's a big points loss. That's potentially a championship-winning points that you're losing there. And I, for one, don't think it's worth necessarily sacrificing position when you've got points, particularly if you're fighting in the kind of upper echelons as well. So at the moment, Sector 7 looking good. They'll be locking out the front row in that feature race. But the big points at the moment going to Sharky, 6.9 seconds clear as we come to start the penultimate lap of this sprint here at Spa. Don't know why I said it, Spa. Bonival comfortably now in 2nd. Newton, of course, now promoted into that top 3. Tyler hanging on still in 4th position. Him and Newton have had a nice little battle going on between them. Can he get that position back? You can see how close Tyler is to the back of that Black Flag car at the moment. Black Flag, although they are leading the team championship, it's not by much. And with Stormfly down in lobby 2, and GMAC Wiggy down in 7th and 8th, it's firmly in Newton's hands to bring home some points. For some big points certainly for the Black Flag Racing team. And you can see here Tyler now closing on the back of the Danish driver as they head up the hill. They're not going to be close enough to make the move. Newton defending that inside line. Oh, we're going to see the same old switcheroo. We don't see it this time. That Body Valve pulled that off absolutely expertly against Slipstream a couple of laps ago, but Tyler unable to repeat that heroic move. Right, Slippy down in 5th, 2.2 now ahead of his teammate, who's closing fast on the back of him. Can the Truth move himself up a position and still maintain front row, of course. G-Mac there in 7th, 3.6 behind the Truth. That's where he'll start on the grid, if that's indeed where he finishes. Mobile Ledge for LRC was looking really, really quick in qualifying. Hasn't been able to transfer that into race pace so far. But of course, anything can happen when the tyre and fuel comes into play in just one lap's time. Wiggy, who had his own little foray with a spin, down in 9th, 5.2 seconds behind Mobile Ledge. TJ Juster, he's starting to find some rhythm now, and after what looked like a dodgy lap 1, he's starting to find a bit of pace. 1.5 behind Wiggy. He's got Old Man J 2.8 behind him, and Fubar, he's not, lap 3 didn't go too well for him. Lap 4 certainly didn't go well. He lost a lot of time. That's what, nearly 30 seconds. Sorry, 20. Yeah, 20 seconds almost. He lost on lap 4. He is 3.2 behind Old Man J, lapping a bit faster, so might be closing that gap. But I don't know if there's enough time to get that gap closed enough to move him up the order. Of course, Wooly will return, I assume, for the feature race, and he'll start back in 13th behind Fubar Philantis. So, final lap into, and that is one of my favourite shots in the game. You don't realise just how big an elevation change that is until you get that camera view. Even in the car, you don't really feel it as much. But that really shows that elevation change through that hairpin, and just how tricky a corner it is going down the hill. Bonnie Val comfortably in 2nd. Newton, I would like to say comfortably in 3rd, but he's not. Tyler still putting pressure on to make it 2 LRC drivers in that top 3 in the M&M LRC car, of course. And he is closing, but is he closing enough? Well, he's actually losing. He's just lost time there through Pouillon. The thing is, you've got to find that balance between being close enough to make a move with a bit of slipstream or under braking, but not being caught in the dirty air for long periods of time. And of course, when you're looking at the cars like these Group 2 cars and certainly Group 1 cars, you find that the dirty air really plays havoc with your downforce and all the other bits and pieces to keep the car going in a straight line. But 8/10 of a second, maybe Tyler has resigned himself to the fact that actually these two don't need to battle. There's going to be a little switch for them. Sharky so takes the lead here, or takes the win in this sprint race, I'll say. Bonnie Val coming home in 2nd, comfortable in the end for those two. Newton coming round, he will take 3rd just from Tyler as they cross the line. 3rd and 4th for him and Tyler. The Truth Serum coming home in 5th. He's got Slipstream right behind him. So Slipstream actually loses out of place to the Truth. The Truth, that's a stonking race. The driver of the sprint race has to be the Truth Serum. That is a stonking finish from him. I don't know if we can see when he got past Slipstream. We'll have a quick look and see. He was ahead of him before then anyway, so no point checking further back than that. So great race from them. Mobile Edge home in 8th. Wiggy in 9th, TJ in 10th, Old Man J holds on for 11th. Fubar closed the gap to 2.7 seconds, but it wasn't enough. So there we have it. That is your sprint race done. Just to confirm and clarify, and we'll save that obviously so everyone's got a copy for later. Sashaki also with that fastest lap with a 2:05.9 for him. Bonnie Val in the end comfortably 2nd, and Newton and Tyler very close for 3rd and 4th. Top 6, of course, going to be reversed. So it will look. The grid will look like this. It'll be Slipstream and the Truth on the front row. The New Zealander, I know it's a Polish flag, but he is from New Zealand. So the Kiwi and the Canadian on the front row. Tyler from Australia with the Dane on row 2. The Brit Bonnie Val with Sharky the Other Aussie on row 3. Then GMAC and Mobile Edge row 4. Row 5 will be Wiggy and TJ. Row 6, Old Man J Fubar. And Willie will be on row 7, having had a technical failure at the beginning of that sprint race. There we have it. Done. That was a good solid fight. Absolutely right, Tyler. And no problems at all with lag or anything like that, which is always what we like to see. So it'll be a couple of minutes for the next race. Will be about 8 minutes, and we will find out who is the big dog when we come back. I'll be back with you in a couple of minutes. I'm back. Good opening sprint race there, and what we learnt from that, excuse me, interestingly, was that look, we know Sharky's quick, and Sharky currently leading the championship, and there's a reason for that. But you can see that it's fine margins, isn't it, in terms of where drivers finish. If you look from the sort of second, third, fourth, fifth, it was a case of keeping the car on a track that made the difference. That slightest error there, and all of a sudden you see a top three driver dropping out of that top three after making a slightest mistake, and it's so easy to do, particularly when you're chasing down another car. Slipstream, we know, is a very good, very consistent driver, but even still, yeah, absolutely. He's just said in the chat there, mess his own race up, so why not? But saying that, we know that Sharky's quick, but we also know Sharky has the potential for error, as any driver does. So it's going to be about this 36 laps. It really needs to be about consistency and about ensuring that you keep the car on the road, and you're there should the opportunity present itself for you to gain a position through a mistake. A driver I think we're going to need to watch out for in this longer format as well is going to be DeTruth. DeTruth running there he is, 4 sector 7. Started right at the back pretty much, and fought his way through. Gained some position through overtakes and just some great speed and great racecraft, but also had that consistency, didn't make a mistake, and where cars ahead made the errors, he was able to capitalise on those errors and move himself up into that top 6. Slipstream will of course start on pole alongside, but you're going to have Sharky, you're going to have Bonnie Val, you're going to have Newton, you're going to have Tyler, all those guys, all very quick, all going to be fighting to get their way through, and Slipstream I think is going to be key. Now the question of course is going to be, what tyres do they start on? Do they start on the harder compound tyres that need to be used? And let me explain what the hard compound has to be used for one full racing lap. So that means if they start the race on the hard compound tyre, they will have done a full racing lap at the end of lap 2, so they can ditch those tyres then. If they opt to use them later in the race, they'll do 2 laps on them. If they pit on the penultimate lap, they will need to have done a full racing lap on the tyres, which will mean the last lap will be a full racing lap. But anywhere in the middle of the race, if they choose to use those hard compound tyres, the minimum laps they'll be doing is 3, essentially, because you've got your out lap, your in lap, and your racing lap. So it's key when they choose to use them. Some of the drivers at the back might opt to ditch them early, so they can move on to the softer compounds, whether that be the softs or the mediums. Now they only start on half a tank of fuel, which means that we're going to have a lot of relatively early pit stops, somewhere around, I think the window's going to be between sort of lap 6 and lap 8, 9, depending on fuel usage and how hard you push it. So from that aspect, maybe it's worth starting on those hard compound tyres and just running those hards for that first stint. Get them out of the way, get that job done, then you've got that ticked off. Then you know you don't have to worry about it. It's always going to be difficult for these drivers to gauge what the other cars are doing. Obviously, a lot of them listen to the broadcast and try and get what they can from that. But everyone is pretty much ready to go. Just the grid's been set. It's Slippy on pole with DeTruth joining him on that front row. Tyler Lansdale with Newton on row 2. Bonnie Val with Sharky, the 2 championship fighters, currently 5th and 6th on row 3. It's GMAC and Mobile Edge on row 4. Wiggy with TJ on row 5. Old Man Jay is with Fubar on row 6. And it looks like Wooly has not come back for the feature race. He's not got long, but Wooly, if you're listening, man, get back in and get in this feature race, man. Let's get this over with, says Bonnie Val. You've got to stay in the fight. You've got to be in it to win it, man. You've got to be in it to win it. You never know what might happen. Sharky only needs to miss a race or two, drop down a lobby, and there we go. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and it's game on. Everyone is ready. Everyone's ticked in. Unfortunately, Willie is not going to make it back for the race. I'm absolutely gutted for him, particularly for ART as well in terms of points. So let's get in and get involved. Slipstream on pole. Is he going to be able to pull away really early? And him and his team. This is key actually. If these two Sector 7 guys, if they work together here, they might be able to open up a little bit of a gap to those cars in front. And I need to fix this. Oops, not that bit. It's that I need to fix, isn't it? There we go. Into position. Fixing on the fly. Let's have a look at who's starting with. Well, actually, let's get safely into turn 1 first, shall we? So how's it looking so far? We're with GMAC, the top 6 all through, nice and cleanly. Looking back through the order, let's go drop down to Fubar there. It looks like everyone there is clean. Old man Jay just behind Fubar. So there we go, everyone through. Oh, he isn't coming back. Okay, cheers. Cheers, Ben. It's a shame because there would have been good points for him. Good battle for him. A bit of a shame, but I suppose it is what it is. It is what it is. I suppose if he didn't fix his wheel, then then he probably wouldn't come back, would he? Right, okay, let's have a look at tyres. So for Slipstream, it is the soft compounds, as it is for the Truth. Going with the hards. So he's gone with those hard compound tyres early doors. Earliest he can pit, of course, end of lap 2. Will he stay out though and just use those tyres for the first few laps and get it out of the way, have that pit stop early when everybody else does, knowing that he doesn't have to use them again? Tyler also on the hards, Newton on the hards, Bonnie Val on the hards, Sharky as well. They're all opting to go on the hards. The Slipstream's going to be able, or what I say going to be able, what he's going to have to do, he's going to have to capitalise on that softer compound and absolutely disappear off up the road and hope he can give himself a big enough advantage. Wiggy on the hards, GMAC as well, TJ, and he's off the GMAC off the racetrack. There's a mobile ledge, and TJ going through mobile ledge though makes a mistake. He's on those hard compound tyres, a lot harder to get them warmed up, of course. Has to be careful re-entering. Old man Jay gets through. He's started on the hards as well as Fu. So everybody starting on the hard compound tyres except for this man here. He has opted to go with those soft compounds from the outset. That's an interesting choice from him. So he clearly feels now he'll know that his teammate The Truth is running on the hard compound tyres. I'm sure they would have run scenarios for this, but 3.3 seconds his current advantage. That's just after the first lap. Now looking at the fuel situation, and it obviously depends on whether those hard tyre runners decide to come in nice and early, and we'll see at the end of lap 2 if that's what they choose to do. But from Slipstream's perspective, he'll want them to stay out as long as they possibly can to give him the best advantage possible. Of course, at some stage he will need himself to run those hard. So it's I don't know whether he's gambling on some rain, but I can assure you there is no rain today at Spa. It is sunny and share. Anyone know the England score? Shall I look it up? I just don't care. To be honest, I was quite interested in the England match, and then I saw the internet going mental about a multicoloured cross on the back of his shirt, like a big bunch of Neanderthal maggots, and I kind of lost interest again. But Slipstream leads the way. Let's moving swiftly on before I start ranting about other things that have pissed me off this weekend, like Albon getting Sargent's car, for instance. Anyway, Slipstream is 4.6 seconds clear of the Truth Serum and pulling away quite well at the moment. He will have the fastest lap of the race at the end of this lap 2 without question, without shadow of a doubt. So opening up the Pepsi. Put the ice machine on so I can have it nice and cold, but I forgot to get ice, which is a bit stupid. How posh do I sound? Ice machine. It's like 30 quid on Amazon. The Truth Serum doing well. That's really, really good. 2.5 seconds he's pulled away from Tyler there in third. And Sharky and Newton, probably about already around Newton, and he'll want to have a car between him and Sharky for as long as possible in this race. So this is the battle currently in the top 6, as we well off the pace there in 7th. We'll have a look at that battle outside the top 6 in a minute. But this is currently for the top 3. So the Truth already into the pits. He's ditching those tyres early doors. Did the minimum 2 laps on them. I'm not sure. Wiggy's done that as well. I'm not sure that's the best strategy here. I think staying out until the first pit stop is quite a long pit loss here. I don't know if that's the right move. Maybe they've run the scenario and it worked for them. That means, of course, if you look at where Tyler is now, Tyler moves up to 2nd. He's already 8.7 seconds behind Slipstream. Right, there we go. So TJ running there in 6th position. Sharky in 5th. It's 7/10 up to Newton. Newton is closing on Bonnie Val, but not quite close enough. Bonnie Val closing the gap to Tyler, and he'll want Newton to stay between him and Sharky for as long as possible, and if possible, would like to get past Sharky's teammate as well, just to maximise the point gain if you can. Of course, he's got his 36 laps of racing here, so they've got a long way to go at this stage. In terms of the hard tyre runners, those that have already gone in, let's have a look and see if anyone else at the back of the pack has chosen to go in. So we know that the Truth has changed out for those softs. Old man Jay, he's gone on to the mediums, so he's going to go for a longer run, or well, he's going to go. He's not necessarily a longer run. He didn't put any fuel on board, but he feels that the medium tyres give him the better and longer life, should I say, at this stage. The Truth on the softs, Wiggy onto the mediums as well. So it seems to be a strategy that has been worked on already. Fubar running still on those hard compound tyres. He's stayed out on those hards, as did Mobile Ledge and GMAC and TJ. Sharky looking to make the move in Blanchimont around the outside of Newton. That's incredibly brave. Is that going to be a penalty though for outside track limits? Under braking into the bus stop chicane. Little touch. He's got to let him take that position back. Does Newton take it back though? He doesn't. He slots in behind. He's slowed and let him take the position back. Very sporting of him. Brilliant move from him. Let's Newton take that back. Nothing for the stewards to see here. Bonnie Val stays out. Slipstream in from the soft compound tyres really early. As he puts on the hards now. Very strange decision to do that as he did. You would have thought, having the soft compound tyres underneath him, that he would have chose to run. Sorry, one sec. Yeah, apologies for that. Yeah, I would have thought he would have stayed out a little bit longer, bearing in mind that he had the soft compound tyres underneath him and everyone behind him was on those hards. I'm very surprised he came in as early as he did to now put on the hards, unless of course he has changed up his strategy seeing the pace on those hard tyres. But that plays into the hands of drivers like Tyler now out in the lead. Bonnie Val just behind him, 0.6 of a second. It's 2.9 to Newton, who had a little coming together with Sharky. Sharky very sportingly gave him that position back. And they're still running on those hard tyres. Slippy is on the hard tyres, but that's he's got to run a couple of laps on those first. So 3 laps essentially he's got to run on these tyres now at this stage. TJ, he's still on the hards. I think it looks to me that those that started on the hards that haven't pit yet are going to run it to the first scheduled pit stop in what's probably going to be somewhere around lap 7, maybe lap 8 even. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you could stretch it out that far. GMAC on the hards, Mobile Edge still on those hards, Fubar is still running on the hards. Okay, but Wiggins said he's moved on to the medium compound tyres. He's right behind Fubar. He'll have that little bit of extra impetus coming out off the corner, that little bit more grip on that slightly softer compound. But he's going to run that now, I would have thought, until the fuel gets really low. The Truth has gone straight to the softs after using the hards for the mandatory minimum amount of time. And Old Man Jay on those medium compound tyres now as well. 8.1 seconds back from the Truth Serum as it stands. Alright, Sharky is now in. So he's come in at the end of lap 5 to ditch those tyres. Is he putting fuel on board? It looks like he's fueling up as well. So he is planning. He's going to be out a little bit longer than everybody else. He's going to be looking to make his moves when everybody else pits. And he is filling that car to the brim, to the absolute maximum. He's on those softs. He's put almost everything he can. He's filled that tank to like 98%. Comes out just behind old man Jay. He's going to pick up some slipstream up the Kemmel Straight, and that should help him to be able to make a move possibly into Lacombe at the top of the hill. Although I'm not sure he's close enough here. So some work for him to do still. Bonneville now leads this race from Tyler Lansdale. I don't know where we can see him. We can't see where he took that position. Kaizan, Tyler, back in second now. Bonneville in the lead of this race on the hard compound tyres, and looks to be staying on them as well. Now the track does look greasy, but I can assure you it's not a wet race today, despite it looking a little bit greasy. Excuse me. That's personal best from him. Slipstream, of course, with that fastest lap on those soft compound tyres. So the top three all started on hards, all still running on the hards. Slipstream started on the softs, pit much earlier than you would have expected him to. I'm assuming he picked up some damage of some sort. Maybe he picked up some damage. Maybe that's the problem, is he picked up some damage somewhere and it felt prudent, but it didn't look to me that he had any damage on that car. So I will want to speak to him afterwards and find out. Look, if he ends up winning this race, then we'll know it's absolutely nailed on the right strategy as Tyler comes in to ditch his hard compound tyres. But I can't see what benefit he gets from doing that, unless of course he meant to start on the hards and didn't. Then of course that makes sense. So this will be his racing lap, and then at the end of lap 7 he'll be able to come in and get rid of those tyres. So that's Tyler in now as well. So the front two, GMAC and TJ, are the only cars that haven't pit yet. Slipstream, tucked there in third, has pit. So Bonneville leads now by 4.1 Great British seconds for the Amigos Racing team. That very striking blue and yellow clearly is clearly their livery, should I say. And another driver coming out on the mediums. Wiggy in now. He's run those medium compound tyres. What's he going to have on next? Tyler coming out on the mediums. Mobile Ledge, he has ditched the hards. He's filled up the tank. He's coming out on medium tyres. Some interesting strategies from these guys. Absolutely really interesting strategies. But we'll see what we see. Bonneville leads the way. 4 seconds is the gap. Newton stays out as well. At this stage, if they're staying out to the end of the life of the fuel, then it is lap 8 that they're going to be ditching the fuel. And an interesting question actually was posed to me before this race as to whether, if you've run required tyres, you have to actually change tyres during a pit stop. And of course the answer to that is no, you don't. You can keep the tyres you want as long as you run the required compounds. And for this race, that mandatory compound is the hard compound tyre. For the rest of the race, you can run whatever tyres you want, however you want to do that. And it could purely be because the fuel seems to burn through a lot faster than the tyres do, and it just means that you've got quite fresh, quite warm tyres, and you'll save yourself a couple of seconds not changing out tyres if you can help it. So that could be a factor. That could absolutely be a factor. Slipstream pits again. This is second pit stop, and we're on lap 6. Still don't understand the ditching of those soft compounds when he did. Has he done enough laps on those tyres? Because he pit at the end of lap 3, 4, 5, yeah, lap 6. That's right. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Yeah, he pit at the end of lap 3, didn't he? So lap 3, lap 4, you're racing lap 5. Yeah, lap 4 the out lap 5 the racing lap. Lap 6 was the in lap, so no problem there. So he's filling up now. Yeah, I'm gonna have to speak to him after. I have to know why. I have to know what was the thinking, because he's cost himself so much track position. He's now in there 3.6 seconds behind old man Jay. He started on pole. He's 43 seconds now off Bonneville in the lead. and had 2 pit stops. Bonival's had none, but that's 2 pit stops difference between him and the current race leader. Proper head scratcher from the Sector 7 driver, our old friend AJ. So, lap 8 we're thinking for these guys. Mate, I think Luton's actually going to come in at the end of lap 7. Looking at the fuel, Bonival can go another lap. Whether he chooses to or not is the big hunker burning question. G-Mac as well, he's going to come in at the end of this lap, as will TJ. And I think that'll be everywhere. Fubar as well still needs to pit there in 6th. So everybody else, oh no, Old Man Jay as well, he needs to pit again as well. He's running the medium compound tyres. So everybody else has pit. It's going to be interesting to see how quickly Bonival and Newton can get out and where they slot in. So we're looking, what, about 25 to, let's say 30 seconds, because I haven't actually done the actual sums. So there we go, Newton's in, Bonival is staying out, as I thought he would do. Right, let's have a little look. So 11 seconds was the gap to GMAC when he came in. GMAC coming in as well. That doesn't really help me very much. Right, so there is the truth coming through now. Slipstream still with that 2:07.7 is the fastest lap of the race. So the gap to Bonival is 22 seconds. So as it stands, the truth will most likely be your race. In fact, will be your race leader once Bonival comes into the pits. So you can see just how much time it has cost Slipstream. Is he was ahead of the truth on the soft tyres early doors, and that extra pit stop has cost him dearly. They're in 5th. Of course, he doesn't need to. He can run for a long time now, but how much does that cost him? So Newton in behind him, 2.6 seconds behind Slipstream. Tyler has got ahead of him. He's been in the pits. He's running on those mediums. Fubar still needs to go in. So Slippy's still going to be in that top 3, but I can't help but think he's cost himself a good solid lead of this race by probably 5 or 6 seconds, which is a bit of a shame actually for him, but I suppose it is what it is when it is. It's just one of those things. Interesting tactics though. Little drinky winky poos. So we've still got a number of races to go in this GT Alphas season. We're on round number 5 here at Spa in this NSX GT500 car, and next week actually is the one I've been looking forward to the most. It's the only non-race spec car of the series, and it's the old BMW Sport Evolution DTM car, and it's a real thing of beauty, a great car, and anyone that's owned one will tell you that it was it was a beautiful car to own and to be able to throw around, to be fair. What was I looking for? Right, so in terms of season schedule, that's the wrong one. I've brought up a completely wrong document then. Hold the line caller while I bring up the full season schedule for you. So Bonival now coming in. The Truth takes the lead of this race. So Bonival and Fubar in to ditch those hard compound tyres. There's the Truth leading the way now. Where's it gone? I was looking in the wrong place. That's why I was looking in the wrong file for all of my documentation. So we are on round 5, which is here at Spa. We are off to Brands Hatch. This is, of course, the halfway point of the season. We're off to Brands Hatch next week in the BMW M3 Sports Evolution. That's the only race that will be conducted on sports soft tyres, so there'll be no hard tyre requirement for that race. There will be obviously the need for fuel and your tyre strategy, but you don't need to use the hard compound in that race. That is followed by a blast around a deep forest raceway in the brilliant Toyota 86 GR4, followed by Tokyo East in the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo. We then move on to the very, very tricky Alsace Village in France in the Renault Megane Trophy. That's going to be an interesting race. And then we finish at the beginning of May, just a month and a half, well not even that, just over a month from now, in the Nordschleife in the Audi RS5 Turbo DTM. And that will be a moist race. Looking forward to that one. So it's all change here. Slipstream and The Truth were on pole position when this race begun. Slipstream started on the soft compound tyres. The Truth started on the hards. The Truth now 19 seconds clear. He's had one pit stop. Slipstream has had 2. Let's have a look at fuel loads, what people have got on board, because some cars filled up significantly more than others. That's Tyler and Body Val having a great little battle there for third. Body Val trying to find a way around the Australian driver. Sharky's still way down the. How far down the order is he? While we were talking about what's going on ahead, something's happened to Sharky. Body Val trying to make the move around Tyler. Tries around the outside. Tyler holding him off. Good little battle here. We're going to have a look and try and find Sharky in a minute. But he is way down the order. This is going to be the opportunity Body Val needs. And they're going to go side by side. Well, they were going to go side by side through Origin Radion like a couple of absolute nut jobs. But Tyler did the sensible thing. He backed out. Body played chicken. And Tyler said, no, thank you. Tucked in behind. But he hasn't been able to get tucked right under the rear wing of the ART driver. Right, what's happened to Sharky? Sharky down there in 11th. Now, was that another pit stop, or did he have an issue? There's no damage on the car now. He's on the medium compound tyres. It looks like it's just a pit thing. It looks like he's... I don't know, actually. I don't think he has. Lap 4, it looks like he's pit again by the looks of things. Yeah, that 218 and 206 suggests that he has pit again. Not quite sure why. Seems a bit of an odd choice. But he's picked up a penalty. He is 20 seconds ahead of Old Man Jay. He's been in again. He's on the soft compound tyre. He'll be running probably about 8 or 9. So about like 18, 19 before he has to no, actually longer than that, isn't it? So it's 8 laps for half a tank. So you can do, yeah, probably about lap 20, 25-ish. He'll be coming in again, assuming the tyres hold out, of course. So Sharky now on the mediums. He is 13 seconds behind Foodbar, but currently over a minute off the lead of this race. Body Val is 24 seconds off the lead. So actually he's almost 50 seconds behind his championship rival at the moment. It's a lot of work for Sharky to do at this stage, but it is a long race, of course. Right, Foodbar is running in that top 10. He's 24 seconds ahead of Sharky. He's just come out of the pits not too long ago, so he's actually on a hot lap now. And on the medium tyres, he's going to be running again another between 12 and 15 laps ish on those tyres. 18 seconds to Mobile Ledge. Lap times not too dissimilar. He's certainly capable of those kind of mid to 11s, but those of course were on hard tyres now, of course. Both him and Mobile Ledge now on those mediums, and Mobile Ledge has found some pace. He's gone sub 210 on those medium compounds. 3.9 to TJ, who is firmly in the sub 210s on racing softs. He is not far from behind Wiggy, not far back from Wiggy, who's running in 7th. Just 0.8 of a second for him. Potential battle going on right there. 2.4 to G-Mac, who's in a bit of space. He's got Newton 9.5 seconds up the road. He's on the soft compound tyres. Newton running on those mediums. 3.2 behind the Aussie driver, also on mediums. 1.2 seconds to Body Val, who's in 3rd currently. Looking great for closing the championship race here at the halfway point. And wouldn't it be good if there was like nothing between them going in to the halfway point of the series? 6.3 seconds is the gap to Slipstream, who was your pole sitter. He is the fastest man on the racetrack with that 2:07.4. He's just done that on lap 10. Is he going to improve further on lap 11? He's trying to rein in his Sector 7 teammate up ahead. And this could be a very dominant display here from Sector 7 if they can hang on in this first and second place. We're here on lap 12. This is 1/3 distance of the race as it stands. It's going to be quite a long race, this one, because it's 36 racing laps, of course. But right, there's a yellow flag up ahead now. Is that for a lapped car? Let's have a little looky see. Just someone there is stricken. That is Sharky, who appears to have crashed his car. What happened to Sharky? Right, he's hit the wall, but he doesn't look like he's coming back out anytime soon. Right, what has happened to him? Is this a terminal failure now? He's being lapped by the cars. It looks to me that he's struggling to get the car out of the wall. That looks to me to be an equipment failure. Quite a tragic one. He has got that car back under control, but he's got front end damage. He is over 3 seconds, the championship leader, over 3 minutes behind the leaders of this race. This is an absolute massive blow to his championship hopes, and they were talking in the lobby prior to the race about handing him the championship now, and this goes to show why that would have been a terrible idea, because with Bonnie Val now up in that top 3, I'll tell you who's going to be disappointed. It's going to be Stormfly's down there in lobby 2 to find that Sharky has dropped points today. He's got blue flags waving. That behind coming in is who? Right, Sharky again off the racetrack. Now, is this a problem that he can't solve with his equipment? Or has he managed to now solve that issue? There's clearly a problem somewhere. Yeah, there's definitely an equipment issue. You can see there, look, he's struggling with getting up and down through the gears. He's struggling to get that car back working again. One wonders whether is it an engine problem that he's destroyed. There's no red mark on the engine to suggest that. So it looks like a terminal equipment failure for Sharky at the moment as it stands. Is he going to be able to get himself back in this race? Absolutely, this is a perfect demonstration of why you don't give up whatever's happening. He has been dominating this series thus far, but this race here, I mean, of course it will be most likely be his drop round, but it's devastating, absolutely devastating blow in terms of points. And you'll see Bonnie Val, I think Bonnie Val will take the lead of this championship at the end of this race if he can stay in that top 3. The Truth Serum giving himself a really good leg up there in the lead of this race. Right, it looks like he's got the equipment back up and working again. Is he going to come in and repair? Because that's going to cost him another 20 odd seconds. Choosing not to, he's choosing to stay out. It looks like he's got his equipment back up and running again, but Sharky is well back. He's a lap down on every single car. So his first job is going to be to try and unlap himself from old man Jay, who is 1 lap further up, a couple of seconds up the road there. You can see if we go on board with Sharky there, you can see that car just going up through Radion No Rouge. That's old man Jay's a lap ahead. So that's got to be his first target. Devastating blow, but changes everything. Slipstream is closing on the Truth out in the lead of this race, and you can see there just how abrasive this Spa racing circuit is on those soft compound tyres, which is why a number of drivers have opted to go for the mediums. It just gives them that longevity in degradation that they didn't feel they would get from the softs, and of course they can run those mediums the entire race should they choose to, particularly if they've already run the hards. In fact, I think everyone now has run the hard compound tyres. Yellow flag for who? Is that Sharky again? off the racetrack. Now, is this still a terminal issue then? That's the question. Is he still having problems with his equipment, or did he just get out of the way for the lapping cars? Who knows? Who knows? So the truth, 17.2 seconds clear of his teammate Slipstream, who was the pole sitter. They have reversed those positions, with the truth having one less pit stop, of course, than his teammate. Slipstream will stay out a bit longer than his teammate will, though. In terms of fuel, not so much, but certainly in terms of tyres, he will be able to hang out that bit longer. It'll actually be the fuel that goes before the tyres do. Bonnie Val in a much better position. He's got loads of fuel. He's on those medium compound tyres. He is 27 seconds behind the truth. That's about a pit stop behind as it stands. But he will, once Slipstream and the truth go in, he will take the lead of this race. And but of course, we'll still have a pit stop of his own to do. Tyler there, 3.1 seconds behind Bonnie Val. He's lapping consistently in those 209s at the moment to Bonnie Val's 208. And well, actually, not too much difference between them. Newton behind also in the 208s, 209s. He's 1.3 behind Tyler. Certainly giving him something to think about. He's in those mirrors, which is where you want your opponent to see you there, to know you're coming. And just to put that bit of pressure on if you can. Yeah, I think that's the case, Rob. I think he's looking again at the issues he's having. It looks like he's having significant technical issues, and I'm wondering we might not actually see him retire from this race. If he finishes the race, of course, he gets points, and he'll get the bonus points obviously for lobby one. But if he doesn't finish, he's unable to finish this race, it will be a nil point for this, and it doesn't look like he's doing any work on the car, which says to me, unless it's just a repair he's doing, which says to me that he is having to retire from this race due to a technical issue. You've got to feel for him. You know, championship leader, looking to extend that lead, was chasing down the lead of this race, but something wrong technically for him. Right, anyway, so we have a new big dog in the house, and today nobody can handle the truth. We want him on that wall. We need him on that wall. And at the moment, he's nowhere near the wall. He is threading that car beautifully between the walls and leading this race by 16.5 seconds. With Slipstream there in second. Outside the top five, we've got Newton sitting there in fifth. He's putting some pressure on the back of Sharky's teammate. He's closed that gap to within 7/10 of a second. And he ever edging him closer and closer, could put himself in a really good position for an overtake by the time they reach the Kemmel Straight. We're on lap 15. This is round number 5 of the GT Alpha's International GT Challenge 2024. Brought to you by Black Flag E-Racing, the Proper Race Club, and Swarm 6. We're at Spa. We're in the NSX GT500 Honda, the 2008 version, which is why it's a little bit boxier than the sleeker stuff we see today. This is the top lobby. We have seen the championship leader Sharky retire to the pits with a technical failure. Second in the championship, Bonnie Val currently running in third place, but Newton there trying desperately to close on Tyler Lanzell, the LRC driver, the Sharky's teammate, in fact. He's trying to close on him. He's getting tripping over my words now. He's getting ever closer. He's going to need to be within half a second as they come through Radion and Eau Rouge, and he's not quite closed that gap. And you can just see when getting the power down his car, the back end just wants to throw you. This car wants to kill you every time you put the accelerator down. Needs a better exit out of here without lifting. He did it absolutely without lifting, flat out through there on those medium compound tyres. Closing, you can see the effect of the slipstream as they head up the hill. Tyler doesn't feel the need to cover that inside line. He's not quite close enough this time to make that move, and not too far up ahead in third place. That's Bonnie Val. You can see the two cars behind just coming over the hill there. So they are pretty darn close. And hopefully, if they're close enough, we can have a bit of a ding-dong going on. We're going to stay with this battle and see if Newton can make the move on Tyler. And we should start to see the front runners of The Truth and Slipstream. This is where they're going to start thinking about what lap they're pitting on. I wouldn't be surprised if it is in the next couple of laps. Quick little peek at the tyres would suggest, and tyres and fuel would suggest that is the case. So Newton is going to have another crack, but Tyler doing a really, really good job. As Newton sort of reels him in and gets within that sort of half-second window, Tyler seems to find that extra little bit of pace. And he's actually opened the gap to 1.1 seconds now and dropping Newton back towards his teammates. So away from that battle we will go. Away! G-Mac running in 7th. Now 6th and 7th, that's usually where you see The Truth. And then you'll see him nick a podium here or there with that pace. 2.9 seconds between Wiggy and G-Mac. Very similar pace. Well, I say very similar. Actually, Wiggy is finding a bit more pace than G-Mac is at the moment in this car. So Wiggy is potentially going to close on Newton at the moment. Looking at the lap times, I wouldn't be surprised if Wiggy closes on the back of Newton. TJ running in 8th. Didn't have the greatest of sprint races. Seemed to struggle early on and then couldn't really keep up with that early. And the pace was quite frantic early on in that sprint. He's currently running in 8th. Bit of no man's land. Mobile Edge 5 seconds back in 9th. He's on the medium compound tyres, of course. So will just last that a little bit longer in terms of grip. There's Fubar running in 10th, 31 seconds ahead of Jay, who's in 11th, and Sharky, who has been forced due to a technical issue to retire to the pit, so it will be a DNF for him. Excuse-moi, s'il vous plaît, as they say in the French bit of Canada, where The Truth is from. You see what I did there with the link? I wouldn't be surprised if he pits at the end of this lap. He might be able to fuel save it round. But Slipstream, I criticised Slipstream's strategy earlier on when he pit after a couple of laps to get rid of the softs, to then put on the hards, to then pit again. He's the only driver that's pit twice that wasn't for technical failure like Chucky. The only driver that's pit twice for tyre and fuel stops. Excuse me, he's closed that gap to 13.8 seconds. When he came out of the pit, or when they were in first and second, the gap was 18 seconds. So he has taken 5 seconds out of his teammate. Currently the fastest man on the racetrack as well, Slipstream. And that is The Truth into the pits. There's a couple of laps left in Slipstream. So he's going to regain his lead of this race here on lap 18. So through he goes Slipstream in the pits. Through goes The Truth in the pits. Through goes Slipstream on his teammate, takes the lead. Bonnie Val just coming round. He's going to be out for much, much longer. He's going to be able to run right through to, now he pits where? He pit much, much earlier. He's going to run through to something like lap 26. There or thereabouts, maybe lap 25-ish. So he's currently running in 2nd, Tyler in 3rd. Where did The Truth come out? He came out in 5th place. Where is he in relation to Wiggy though? Wiggy just 1.4 behind, with G-Mac 1.2 behind him, not even that. Much, much closer now. It looks like Wiggy's made a mistake because G-Mac's got the run on Wiggy as they came out of the source. That's going to be a penalty, surely a penalty there for G-Mac. Looks like G-Mac got away with it. Gary cheats and gets away with it yet again. You cheaty bugger. Sorry, Gal. No, that's not actually the case. Right, Wiggy is 2 seconds behind The Truth. He's going to have to pit soon. They are on different strategies as it stands. The Truth coming back out on those softs with a nice full tank of fuel. 26 seconds off the lead of this race. So the situation at the moment is a pit stop is going to cost you around that 26 seconds, 26 to 30 seconds. And he's currently in the window to regain the lead when the 4 cars ahead pit. However, Bonnie Val's in a really strong position at the moment, because although he will most likely lose track position to The Truth when that pit window comes around for him, it will be his last pit. He won't need to pit again. It is very, very likely as we hit, and this is the midpoint of the race. I had lap 18, so yeah, bang on the midpoint of this feature race. It's very, very likely that we will see the Truth have to pit again. Slipstream as well. He'll be pitting. Well, he hasn't pit this lap, so he'll be pitting on the next lap. It's currently 14 seconds clear of Bonnie. Tyler as well. Tyler's got a few laps left in him. He's probably going to be able to hang on until about lap 22. Although he's got Newton crawling all over him like a drunk fat girl left behind by her mates in a dingy Hull nightclub. I don't know why I picked Hull, particularly maybe because I saw that BM10 was there. I don't know. I haven't been to a nightclub in Hull ever. Not that I would want to. I have been to Hull. It wasn't the nicest place in the world, and I'm really sorry if I offended anyone from Hull. But I'm from Croydon. I can say what I like about horrible places because I'm from one. There we go. Penalty for Newton for track limitations. He got it wrong, and he's going to pay the price, and that's a half a second, that price. So in the battle of supremacy between the Dane and the Aussie, again, Tyler winning out, although Newton really, really close to the back of the LRC driver. And he definitely thought about it. He definitely thought about going up the inside there. You could always hear the thought process as you saw the car diving there, but realised that the door was going to get shut. It would have been an absolutely ridiculous move from that far back, and decided not to do it. He is putting some pressure on Tyler. You'll see here just how brutal these penalties are on GT7 as we come round into this twisted section. It takes us down to, I forgot the name of this corner sequence. It takes us down to Stavelot. Yeah, I think that's Stavelot. And then round they go. This is where we'll see, look, he'll get a bit of slipstream coming up to the penalty line. He is 3/10 of a second behind him, and boom, all of a sudden, look at that. So slipstream into the pits at the end of lap 19. Bonnie Val will take the lead. Newton 1.2 seconds now behind Tyler. He's lost that slipstream, which is going to be a bit of a devastating blow for him. So Bonnie Val takes the lead of this feature race for the very first time. On a good strategy, on a really, really smart strategy, running those medium tyres. He will be able to carry on to about lap 25, maybe lap 26 if he's really smart, and run to the end of this race. The question, of course, is whether the Truth can do that. He's got a full tank, he's got the soft compound tyres on, he's going to have to do 16 laps. He might make it. He might very well make it. Now, if he does, he will lead this race, and he will lead this race by, as his teammate comes out in 7th. A couple of cars between them that do have to pit. GMAC and TJ both need to go in. Wiggy currently in the pits. Let's take this opportunity to do a fuller rundown. Sharky is in the pits, retired with what looked like technical failure on lap 13. All went horribly wrong for actually lap 12 or lap 11. It all started to go wrong, and then it got from bad to worse. So lap 10, lap 11, lap 12. All devastatingly bad for Sharky, and he came in at the end of lap 12 and said, I'm done, I've had enough, this shit is broke. And then he's going to headbutt his race engineer and kick a dog. Old man Jay running in 11th. He can't part that there, mate. Does rescue it. He's 1 minute 17 seconds behind Wiggy. He's got another pit stop to come between now and the end of the race, but only one more for him. Wiggy, final stop for him. I've got no doubt in my mind he can take that car the final 16 laps required to make it to the end, and he is all over the back of Fubar like an unwanted Christmas present, and looking to try and make a move. Now, Fubar is going to need to pit again. Do you play the long game? And do you say, look, why am I going, rather than hold up my teammate, let him get on the off up the road after a mobile ledge. I can tuck him behind, get a bit of slipstream, look after my tyres and fuel a little bit, maybe be able to extend my stint by a lap or two, and we can make some moves. That's Tyler and Knudsen both into the pits. Body valve staying out, of course. He's got a few more laps to go before he needs the pits. Yes, is this where Wiggy and Freewell work together a little bit? Little bit of bump and draft. Just to help each other along and then close that gap to Mobile Edge 16 seconds. So having a massive penalty, Fubar. So that is Wiggy coming through. So that'll be why Wiggy didn't bother trying to make the move. Fubar had a penalty to serve. Mobile Edge is in. Newton in. Tyler in. Slipstream should run to the end. He's running in 5th position. TJ's going to need to pit lap 22 to 23 at the very, very latest. GMAC needs to pit again lap 22. Maybe 23 if he's a very, very brave boy. The Truth running to the end. He's 10 seconds behind Bonnie Val, although I think the fuel might be a bit touch and go. I think he's on the cusp of that fuel being lasting long enough. And if he can't make the fuel last, then I think this is going to be, obviously, technical failures and other things aside, assuming nobody crashes, Bonnie Val needs the Truth to have an issue with the fuel. I have a feeling he may well do. He looks to be going through that pretty quickly. So if he has to pit again, I think this could be Bonnie Val's race. Bonnie Val can stay out now till lap 26 and then finish that run on the soft compound tyre. Currently running on the mediums, of course. Looking good for the Amigos driver with his main championship rival, of course. There in the pits with a DNF. Nobody wants a DNF, but sometimes, unfortunately, with motorsport, it's one of those things. Maybe do you think his teammate? Do you think they'll make Kaizen get out of the car and give it to Jockey? No, because it's a horrible fucking thing to do. That's why. If you crash your car, tough chitty. Your teammate should get to run, not you, because you crashed your freaking car, Mr. Albon. Alternatively, James Vowles, bring an extra freaking chassis, you knob jockey. You're bringing a truck full of parts anyway. Stick another fucking chassis on it. There we go. That's me ran over. If at the end of the season you needed 1 point, which could have been a 10th place finish, you might live to regret that decision. But there we have it. Right, so Body Valve from The Truth from GMAC, who's got to pit this lap. Slipstream, he's past TJ already. TJ's going to pit this lap. Slipstream up to 4th. Now, how is he for winning this race? Now, remember, he started on pole with this reverse top 6 here at Spa. Inexplicably did that strange early pit stop strategy where he pit after a couple of laps with soft tyres onto the hards. Whether it was to rectify an issue with I don't know. I can't explain it. Nobody else did it. He was the only one that did. He could and should have stayed out a good couple of laps longer than he did, but opted not to. And I think, in all honesty, if we look at the fact that he is currently a pit stop behind the lead of this race, in fact, under a pit stop behind the lead of this race, he probably would be in the lead of this race now had he only stopped the once in that early stage. But he may have something up his little sleeve, and he's running to the end of this race, and it could be very well that his teammate is not going to make it on fuel. There's going to be some fuel mapping and some lift and coast from The Truth if he wants to make it to the end. Going to be a lot of lift and coast. Right, Tyler now running to the end of this race. He's on those soft tyres. He's 18 seconds behind. TJ running in 6th position. Should move into that top 4 when GMAC and TJ go into the pits at the end of this lap. But he's still got this battle. It's been raging on. These guys have been battling now for pretty much 18 of these 22 laps. These two have been battling for position and doing a very good job of it as well. That is GMAC into the pits and TJ as well going in. But Newton and Tyler have been separated by anywhere between half a second and a second this entire race, and it really is a good battle for them. And I believe they had a really good battle in the sprint race as well. So these two are really bringing us the big show. This is the This is the mastermind. This is the top of the bill. This is the Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua we've been waiting for. I don't know any Danish or Australian boxers to find a reference. This is Holden versus Vauxhall. How about that? Or Holden versus Ford, maybe. Again, don't the Danes make cars? Where's the Koenigsegg from? That's Swiss, isn't it? It's the Viking versus the boy. I don't know. What do you call it in Australia? Versus the convict. It's the Viking versus the convict as they fight it out for 4th place. They're not convicts anymore. They just started out that way when we dumped them out there as a prison. Let's question that decision making, right? So you live in a country where it features them with rain for approximately half the year, right? And it's cold for at least that period as well. You get sunshine for maybe a week. If you're lucky, you get a month of it, right? And then you travel all around the world and you find this country where it's hot a lot more often, right? And it's nicer and the weather is better. And then you come home and you're like, well, where do we put all of our most dangerous criminals as a way to punish them? Oh no, let's take them and drop them off in fucking paradise. Idiots. Right, Bonneville into the pits for his final pit stop. I said lap 25. He's trying to come in lap 23. Detriz takes the lead of the race as we thought he would. But we don't know whether he can make this to the end. Half a tank of fuel is about 8 laps. He's very closely approaching that. And there's still a 12 laps remaining here in this 36 lap race. A little bit longer than most, but we wanted Spa to be the spectacle, halfway point spectacle. Slipstream running in second. Now he was ahead of his teammate. He was at 18 seconds behind. He cut that gap down to 13, and 13 seconds is where that gap has stayed. He should make it to the end of the race with his current fuel as it is. Might be a bit squeaky bum towards the end, but he should be okay. Right, Bonneville back out, and he has overfueled. But that's not a bad thing, because he is going to be pushing, feeling on for ART. He's 30 seconds off the lead of this race, 16 seconds behind Slipstream, and then of course he's got to try and get past him to chase off after his teammate, and I can assure you that Slipstream will not make that easy for Bonneville. Bonneville looking to score maximum points in this feature race, knowing that his championship rival Sharky is stricken and DNF for this feature race due to what looked like a massive technical issue with his equipment. And I don't mean the gentleman equipment, I mean the racing equipment. Of course. To be sure. How's it going with Tyler and Newton? That's how it's going. It's still on. Newton's still picking up penalties in the pursuit of the Australian driver. Cannot find a way through and keeps picking up penalties in this eternal push to try and get him. Imagine how much further he'd be ahead if he didn't keep getting these penalties. So he does all the work, he gets tucked in behind, then serves the penalty and boom shanker. The work begins again. You can see that this is the point of the racetrack where Tyler just seems to have the edge. And it's where Newton's serving the penalties. It makes it harder when you've got that situation. So he wants to be closer, coming through Radion and Eau Rouge, so he can make that move up the Kemmel Straight. But of course, he's coming into this bus stop chicane now, 1.7 seconds behind, having served that penalty. So he's going to have a couple of laps now of putting in the effort, putting in some work to try and close on the back of Tyler again and put himself in a position to be able to make that move into the source. And there you go, still 1.7 seconds separating 4th and 5th position. Wiggy there running in 6th. He's comfortably unchallenged by GMAT behind by 12.3 seconds. Now lapping, not too dissimilar, actually a little bit quicker than Tyler and Newton up ahead. Now here's the thing, there is plenty of time left in this race, still 12 laps remaining for Wiggy. He's lapping at the moment, and bear in mind he should run Again, looking at the fuel, touch and go for him. I'm looking at the truth and him. He's got a little bit more than the truth, but I think he might. If he's going to get the move done, he wants to get it done early because I think he's going to be really fuel saving towards the end. But look at his lap times. He is about just around half a second quicker than Newton, and Tyler is at the moment. Tyler lost quite a lot of time on that last lap actually. If we can continue this pace at half a second, he will catch them in 7-8 laps time, which will put it with 3 laps of this race remaining. So still very much in this, Wiggy, for a potential top 4 finish. GMAC running in 7th place is 13.2 behind Wiggy, 7.7 ahead of TJ. TJ didn't have the greatest of sprint races, but seems to have found a good, comfortable midfield position here in the feature. 4 seconds ahead of the American Mobile Ledge. He's on those soft compound tyres in Mobile Ledge in the low 208s, closing on TJ at the rate of about 2 seconds a lap as it stands. He should do it. In fact, I think we're going to see a battle here somewhere around lap 26, 27. The American driver will be battling at the back of TJ for a place in the top 8. 25 back to Fuma Ferlantis, got a half-second penalty. He's 37 seconds clear of old man Jay, running there in 11th. We lost a couple of drivers. Nav didn't come for the race. He couldn't make it for the race today. Midas did not show for his place. And we lost Wooly in the sprint race to a technical failure. And then, of course, now we've lost Sharky as well for a technical failure. And he was probably going to be leading the race by this stage. So as championship leader, devastating blow for him on lap 12, I think it was. It all went wrong for him. Yeah, lap 12 he went in. Lap 10 it started, and then it just got worse and worse and worse. Right, the gap between the 2 Sector 7 drivers out in front, it is 10.6 seconds now. Slipstream really starting to rein in his teammate. Is there enough time to catch him? I mean, he's going to need to be doing more than a second a lap faster in order to catch him. But there is a question mark over whether the Truth has got the fuel to make it to the end. He's got a 10-second advantage and he's got a teammate with him. So from that respect, he may be able just to go into sort of ultra fuel saving mode at this point to make sure he's got enough at the end. I just don't think. I think, you know, with half a tank taking about 8 laps, it's going to be a real struggle to take it for 9s and 10s as he's trying to do at the moment. So this could hand the victory back to Slipstream, and I will be made to eat my words about his insane early strategy, which turns out to not have been as insane as I first thought. Clearly the Truth could have done with the same stop then. He wouldn't need to stop again now. But Body Val is looking pretty racy. He's got no issue with fuel. He actually overfueled in his last stop, which of course meant he spent longer in the pits. But he doesn't have to fuel save in any manner at all. He doesn't have to look after his tyres. He doesn't have to fuel save because they will last this distance, and he can really push. And at the moment, 2:07.6 his fastest lap. Slipstream ahead, just put in a 2:06.9. So Slipstream finding that additional pace he needs. He really is starting to ramp up the chase down of the Truth. 2:06.9 for him. Last lap for the Truth was a 2:08.1. So actually it's more than a second a lap at the moment. But of course he's got to be able to sustain it as the tyres start to wear. Tyler and Newton, the gap has opened up a little bit. Newton with a couple of penalties, struggled a little bit to close and get the move done. He certainly wasn't struggling to close, he was struggling though to get the move done. And he's having to go all over again, 1.8 seconds. But Wiggy behind is closing the gap on those 2 drivers. So the battle they're having is playing into his hands because they're concentrating, certainly Tyler concentrating on defending. Newton is pushing extra hard to try and catch Tyler, and then of course find his way around him. And all the meanwhile, Wiggy is putting in nice, steady, high 207s, low 208s, and just starting to eke into that 3.4 second gap. And we should see a potential battle for Wiggy pushing his way into the top 4 by the time we hit the last few laps of this race. G-Mac's not going to catch Wiggy. He's not lapping anywhere near that pace. TJ at a similar pace to him. Mobile Edge now all over the back of TJ. Has been significantly faster, and now the American driver trying to find a way through in this awesome Honda NSX GT500 here at Spa. No rain today at Spa. We know it is prone to a dodgy as hell weather conditions, but no rain today. So it is all about dry pace on these slick tyres, and pretty much everyone now running on the soft compound, bar a couple of drivers. Just trying to find the ones that are on the mediums. We've got G-Mac there on those mediums running to the end. He probably could have used the softs, to be fair. TJ also on the mediums, Mobile Edge softs, Fubar soft, Jay also on the softs. Sharky would have been on the softs had he not had to retire his car due to the technical issue. Let's have a look from the drone cam for Mobile Edge. Not close enough to make the move here unless he gets a significantly better run through Eau Rouge and Radion onto that Kemmel straight. He is closing slowly. Through he goes. No lift though, absolutely flat through there, which is what you want to be. And that's closed the gap quite significantly as they head up the hill. He's not going to be close enough into Lecombe to make the move this time round, but if he can edge that ever bit closer, he can use that slipstream around Blanchimont to close the gap into until they get to La Source. Get the exit out of La Source. That's when he'll want to be within that half second, and then that move is a lot easier up the Kemmel Straight into Lecombe. Lap 28 of 36 here. This is round number 5, the midway point of GT Alpha's International GT Challenge 2024. If you've just joined us, what do you need to know? Well, you need to know that the current championship leader, Sharky, has had to retire from this race due to a technical failure. His championship rival, just a few points behind him in that table, Bonnie Val, currently running in 3rd, but on a charge after Slipstream and The Truth from Sector 7, who were pole and still front row for this feature race, and still front row, albeit switched around. Fastest man on the racetrack is your pole sitter Slipstream, who is looking very, very racy in these final stages. And as you can see there, Mobile Edge much closer to TJ this time. It's going to be about the exit as they come into the bus stop chicane, how close he is there. You won't imagine he'll make the move in La Source. He doesn't want to give up the slipstream going up the Kemmel Straight into the bus stop chicane. They go. He is much closer now to the back of that black flag Honda, the racer from the Netherlands, being chased down by the American. Fuck yeah. Mobile Edge down to La Source they go. He's well within 0.4 of a second into the braking zone, nice and tight on the apex, back on the power. And this is where you don't want to make a mistake. You do not want to dip off the racing line and pick up a penalty. TJ a little bit quicker, getting on the gas there out of La Source, just giving a slight edge as they head onto the Kemmel Straight here. Lap 29, really good exit for Mobile Edge, and he's closing on the back of that Honda as they head up the hill. Again, not close enough to make the move. He seems to be losing time at the end of each lap and not being able to find a way through when they get to the best possible overtaking opportunity. If TJ can keep him at bay all the way through this part of the racetrack where he's quicker, then he should be able to hold him off. But for how long, of course? You've got to bear in mind that he's on the medium compound tyres. He would I suppose he's got to kind of hope that the soft tyres on the American's car wear out and he starts to lose that superior grip as the race wears on, but still can't get the job done. The gap still 10 seconds between Slipstream and The Truth. So Slipstream not pushing to close that gap now. They're going to be happy as a team to come home 1-2. The Truth higher in the championship at the moment than Slipstream. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are some team orders there and Slipstream is going to act as the Bonnie Val buffer to prevent Bonnie moving into that top 2, just to keep him away from the truth. Though Bonnie at the moment not significant enough pace to close in any way, shape or form on those, but still good position for him, being that Shark is scoring a nil point for this feature race due to a DNF for technical failure in this feature race. The battle for 4th is still very much on. Newton not quite as close as he has been, still 1.6 seconds behind Tyler. They're both doing okay for fuel as it stands. Wiggy was closing, but doesn't seem to be closing as quickly, and I think now is really thinking about fuel. It looks like fuel is becoming a bit of an issue for Wiggy, and I think where he's pushed, although Tyler's made a mistake. What happened there? Let's have a little look, see what happened to Tyler, because it looks to me that it's all gone horribly wrong for the Aussie driver. And no, it's not letting me. The replay stopped working again, which is a real pain in the arse. This happens quite a lot now, and I don't know why, but it is what it is. Anyway, so we can't replay that. So Newton now ahead of Tyler. Tyler's made a mistake somewhere. There's no damage, so he can get back up to speed, but he has got Wiggy all over the back of him now. This could be a very, very different race for Tyler. It could be about rescuing something rather than picking up a good solid 4th place. Remember, his teammate is in the pits. He's had to retire. His other teammate, Mobile Ledge, still can't get around TJ. Still can't get those soft tyres working for him. And the longer this race goes on, the more grip they're going to lose, and the better it's going to be for TJ to keep him at bay with that medium compound tyre and the low tyre degradation on that. So Wiggy is right up behind Tyler, although Wiggy's fuel, he's going to need to be in significant fuel saving mode. Well, they're actually coming in, so he comes in. Wiggy's coming in for fuel. He's got 21 seconds over GMAC. It could be tight for 6th and 7th. So he realised that. I think it was a push where he was closing quite quickly on that battle between Newton and Tyler. It looks like he pushed the fuel just beyond beyond savability, really, and now in a position where he's got to have a little splash and dash to get out. The truth is in a similar. He's going to have to pit. Slipstream should be able to stay out. So Slipstream's going to take the lead of this race. Bonnie Val's got more than enough fuel to stay out. It's going to be interesting actually, because 26 seconds is the gap between Bonnie Val and the Truth. When does the Truth come in? Now, if I'm in his position, for me, I'm coming in now. I'm not leaving it another couple of laps. If you leave it another couple of laps, you've only got 2 laps remaining in the race. No time really to chase down any gap that the 2 drivers ahead get on you when you come in. It's got to be strategy wise. It has to be now. That gives him the best opportunity. It gives him 5 laps then to chase down any deficit he makes up. So we should see as he goes into the bus stop chicane, does he peel off? He doesn't peel off to the right side. He's opting to stay out for another lap. That gap is already down to 9.8 seconds. Slipstream looking pretty darn racy at the moment. He will stay out because he doesn't need to pit. Bonnie Val still lapping a little bit quicker than Slipstream at the moment, so it's closing that gap. It's down to 15 seconds. Do I think Bonnie Val can win this race? I think the Slipstream makes a mistake like he did in the sprint race. Absolutely. However, I don't think we're going to see it happen. I think this time Slipstream is playing the long game. He's been acting as a buffer for his teammates. He knows now, he'll know, they'll be speaking to each other. He'll know that his teammate's going to have to go in for a little splash and dash and then come back out. Whether he chooses, if I were him, I'd probably put tyres on as well. They could probably last, but if you're in the pits anyway, it makes sense to utilise brand new fresh rubber as he goes in. So Slipstream running there in second. He will lead this race. Now bear in mind, I questioned the validity of his early pit stop strategy. It was different from what everybody else was doing. He was the only driver to start on soft compound tyres, but he didn't run them as you would have expected for the full 8 laps of that initial fuel run. He, after a couple of laps, came in, changed them out for the hards, run those for the mandatory minimum time, came in and then back on the soft compounds. And for a while it looked like he might have pulled a boo-boo. But it's now looking more and more like an absolute tactical masterstroke, as he's following his teammate 9 seconds behind, but his teammate's going to have to pit. He's got a 15-second advantage over Bonnie Val, currently second in the championship, third on the racetrack. The question, of course, is where the truth filters back in after he pits, and we'll see now. At this time he'll come into this bus stop chicane, into the braking zone, down to first gear, get the rotation in that car. He'll stay to the right hand side this time. Into the pits he goes. Slipstream will see him come down. He will come through. He will take the lead of this race. Where is Bonnie Val? There is Bonnie Val now. He's in Blanchimont. He's 24 seconds behind the leader at the moment, or at the point when the truth entered the pits. He just put in the fastest lap of the race on lap 31, so he's clearly ramping up this pace now with a 2:06.8. He has had the gauntlet laid down. The offer has been made. Can you win this race? The question's been asked, and he's going to try and answer it with a resounding "I don't know, but I'll have a fucking go," is what he will do. So the truth comes out where? He comes out just behind Bonnie Val. He's running the medium compound tyre. I don't quite understand why he's running the medium compound tyre, because he's 3 seconds behind. It's only 3 laps left. He should only be running the soft compound, surely, to the end of this race. The only mandatory tyre is the hards. He's running the mediums, though, to the end. 1.6 seconds. Now, for me, if he puts the soft tyres on, he can make that push and catch Bonnie Val. I think on the mediums he's going to struggle. They are fresh tyres, of course, but there's plenty of rubber still left on the soft tyres of the ART driver from the United Kingdom. So no reason at all why he will be struggling tyre-wise. He's not going. I don't think he's going to be able to catch 15 seconds to slipstream. It's going to be some feat to catch him. But I think the putting on the medium tyres there was the wrong idea. I can see why some drivers have used medium tyres. They just last that little bit longer than the softs. But in this scenario, it just seems incredibly unnecessary. Who knows? Excuse me. Right, so in that battle for 4th and 5th, for so long it was Tyler Lanzell holding off the charge of Knudsen. Little mistake, and it cost him. He's now back in 5th. He is starting now to reel Knudsen back in. There's 4 laps remaining, but both these drivers are going to be seriously considering their fuel in a couple of laps' time, and whether they've got enough to make it to the end. G-Mac running in 6th is ahead of Wiggy, who had to go in for a little splash, but Wiggy on a charge and should regain 6th position. I don't think he's going to be close enough though to make a challenge now for that top 5. The big push to try and get there just cost him a little bit too much time earlier on. So here he is chasing down G-Mac for place in the top 6. Is G-Mac just going to let him go? I doubt it very much. These two competitive drivers. G-Mac will try and hold him off if he can, but Wiggy just so much quicker through there, up the inside, round Blanchimont, makes it look incredibly simple, and G-Mac just has to concede, because he's on those medium tyres. He knows he's not going to hold him off. Into the braking zone they go. G-Mac doesn't have a look, which is probably wise. Mobile Ledge, he did finally get his way around TJ and started to open up that gap now, 5.9 seconds. But will the race come back to TJ on tyres? Because Mobile Ledge seems to have taken quite a lot out of those tyres in that charge. He's still got 3 laps to go. It may be those. He's going to have to hope those tyres hold out for him, because we know that once we get past that midway point, there really is a massive degradation drop off. It's not like halfway means you've got another same amount of laps. It's the halfway point is the point at which the tyres just start to erode away before your very eyes. Old Man Jay still 43 seconds behind Fubar, and Sharky, as we know, retired on lap 12 after having a technical failure around lap 10. He did try and get back on track. Right, Slipstream is going to have to pit. So his fuel is not lasting. I thought he pulled a tactical masterstroke. It turns out he did not. And he's going to have to pit for fuel here on lap 34. That's going to hand Bonnie Val the race. It wasn't the tactical masterstroke we thought it was. I was right. It was a crazy strategy. Because had he stayed out on that first pit stop, he would be 20 seconds up the road and have a free pit stop to his name. So there goes Bonnie Val into the lead of this race. The Truth back through into second. Slipstream's there in third. He's just far enough ahead of Newton not to concede fourth. I wouldn't have thought Newton. Although saying that, Newton coming in to the bus stop chicane now. Slipstream is heading out of the pits. He's far enough ahead of Newton not for it to be that big an issue. Newton coming down to the source, so he is maintaining that gap. But Bonnie Val has snatched what looks like victory from the jaws of not getting the victory. He is 3.5 seconds clear. Just a lap and a half remain of this 36 lap feature extravaganza here at the Circuit de Spa of Francorchamps in Belgium, of course, the home of chocolates and wars. You know the reason why people fight wars in Belgium is because it's flat. You have to climb up many hills. So it's good for war, it's good for chocolate, but it's especially good for Spa, and one of the finest racing circuits on the planet. And I defy you, other than Nordschleife, or whatever you want to call it, other than that, I would defy you to find another racetrack more famous than Spa is. Although they do run the Formula 1 Grand Prix at Spa at the wrong time of freaking year. Anyway, that's not my place to debate. So Bonnie Val leads. The Truth will do the full rundown because this will be the last lap of the race coming up very shortly. Bonnie Val leads this race by 2.8 seconds from the Canadian The Truth. Only he could handle The Truth. The Truth had to pit for some extra fuel. Just didn't have enough on after his last pit stop. Slipstream, same position. I thought he had enough in the tank to make it, but it seemed that he just pushed that a little bit too hard, and it cost him dearly. He's also running the medium compound tyres to the end. Very strangely, I don't understand that either. They do realise that only the hard tyres are mandatory tyres, right? I'm beginning to think if people are just assuming mediums are mandatory because they're not. Or are they? No, I don't think they are. No, it's only the hards that are mandatory. I'm going to have to check now. I can't actually remember. I should remember, but I'm pretty sure. I'm 99.9% sure that only the hard tyres are mandatory. Right, Nudison running in fourth. Tyler had a little go. He couldn't make it work. He's got... Yeah, I don't get it, Rob. I don't understand the medium tyres because they're not mandatory. Unless there's been a rule change that I don't know about, they're not mandatory tyres. Right, Wiggy in sixth now. He's 13 seconds behind Tyler, but I'm concerned about Tyler making it to the end on that fuel. Really am concerned. He has got very little in that tank. Bonnie Val should just make it. He's close enough to the end. Although The Truth is taking absolute chunks out of him in this run to the line. Is this going to be a twist in the tail? Remember that the last time Bonnie Val raced for Alfred or in an Alpha series at Spa, he was second to Wiggy, currently running in sixth. Made the move to try and steal that lead right at the death. It didn't happen, and he ended up finishing in second. Is he going to be forever the bridesmaid here at Spa as The Truth Serum on the charge? Final lap of the race, trying to find some way, hoping for some little error now Is he safely through? It looks to me that he is safely through. So Bonnie Val takes the win here at Spa after 36 grueling laps of racing. The Truth coming home in second. Great finish from him. He's 7.9 seconds ahead of his teammate Slipstream, who is trundling across the line. Right, Newton. He's got enough fuel to make it to the end. What about Tyler, though? Who's that he's racing with? He's not. That's no. The person he's racing is not the person he's actually racing. Newton across the line in fourth. There in fifth is Tyler. Is he out of fuel? No, he's not. He did just make it. That is, I think, Jay unlapping himself there. Or finishing. I know he'd finish as well. He'd finish a lap down. But no, great race from Bonnie. He called it absolutely right strategy-wise yet again. For a while, I thought Slippy might have had some sort of genius masterstroke, but it turns out it was just a stroke. There was no masterstroke about it. He just had an absolute brain fart. He would have, had he carried on those soft compound tyres and run it to the end of that first stint at lap 8, he would have been at least 25 seconds clear with the rest of this race. It stayed as it was. I don't know. He's going to have to explain it to me because I don't get it. Mobile Edge home in 8th. TJ home in 9th. Fubar will come home in 10th. And Sharky is, unfortunately for us, did not finish. It looks to me that Fubar is out of fuel and trundling home. But he has made it, yes. And of course, with Sharky in the pits, we're going to have to wait the full 1 minute 16 second countdown. I know he's come out of the pits now, and he's coming around. I don't know if he's managed to fix now the equipment or not, but yeah, it's still going to be a DNF, my friend, because you did sit out the race. You can't sit in the pits for 2/3 of the race and expect to get points for finishing. Man, it's not the done deal. It's not in the spirit of what we're doing here, my friend. But, look, technical issues aside, it is what it is. What happened. That's racing for you. So Sharky is trying to bring this car home. As he made a mistake. I thought he made another mistake there. Is he still having technical problems? That's the big hunker burning question. He seems to have found whatever was causing problems. Seems to have found that. Is he going to make it before the time runs out? That's the big question now. So 10 seconds as he goes into the bus stop chicane. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You have to wonder whether he planned that. So there we have it. Done. Congratulations to Bonnie Val with a brilliant win there. Absolutely brilliant win. So final results just to confirm. Bonnie Val from The Truth, Slipstream and Newton 3rd and 4th. Tyler and Wiggy 5th and 6th. GMAC and Mobile Ledge round out the top 8. TJ home in 9th. Fubar in 10th. Old Man J in 11th. And Sharky, despite the fact he does have him classified there as 23 laps down, I think that goes down as a DNF, don't you? There we have it, done and dusted. Thank you very much for joining me. That was a pretty darn emotional race. We had thrills, we had spills, we had crashes, we had crazy strategies. We had all sorts today. We're back next week at Brands Hatch with the awesome BMW Sport Evolution. Really looking forward to that one on sports tyres. No tuning, of course, so it's just whipping that car around. I think we're going to see some crashes next week. Certainly some spins. It's a difficult car to control at the best of times. But all that's left for me to say is thank you very much for joining me. I've been Adam Parrott. This has been GT Alphas Round 5 in the Honda NSX at Spa. And we're back next week for more of the same.